When the call came about, would I be interested in playing it, which was amazing, my agent was like, look, they want to consider you to play the Master. And I went, who? Yeah, exactly. And then straight on Wikipedia, bum, 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 and I was like, oh, shit.
Please put your Elihu hands together for Sacha freaking Dhawan, the Master. Come out here. We love you. Come here. Oh my gosh. Come here. That is so freaking adorable. Yes. The man, the legend, the Master. Yeah, I'm just going to interview him. So anyway, how do you feel about life? I freaking love those.
Hey guys, you all right? Has everyone been having a good time? Great.
I thought that first sounded a little hungover. It's Sunday and everyone may be a little tired. So I wanted to hear it again. Everyone's having a good time? Better. Okay. So where should I be? Should I be here? Should I be here?
Go and sit
Space.
next to me.
Okay, let's be friendly. Okay, wait. Here we are. Oh my gosh. All right.
How are you feeling?
I am good. How are you?
Do you get nervous doing these?
Nah.
Ah, okay.
Nah. I don't know. Should I be?
Yes.
I love that. Huh? Oh yes. Everyone, photos yes, videos no, right? Everyone's behaving? Because, the strike is a big pain, but we want to be nice and we're behaving ourselves. Elihu audiences are polite and nice and friendly. So I'm not going to have to go around and check everybody's phones, right? Okay, cool. Edwin's a good boy. Edwin's a good boy. We trust Edwin, okay? And we're not going to, okay, cool. So I'm the enforcer. If we can't talk about, anything that's current, and we're going to talk about Doctor Who, all right? For God's sake. All right, so here's my thing. The first thing I always ask people in New Who, what is it like for you joining this party that has been going on since 1963?
It's okay. No, it's a party.
I mean,
I had a little taste of it when I did an adventure in space and time, and that in itself was crazy. The first read through of the script, and you're seeing everybody. The people who make it happen, and me and the lovely actress who played Verity Lambert in it, we were just completely so starstruck, and behind me is Waris Hussein, and then I never thought years later that I'd actually be in the show. So yeah, it's amazing. So then I got to experience how they make it as well, and it's a beautiful team of people who make it, and it's become such a special memory. And then on top of that, I get to travel around and meet all you guys, and it's great. And every time I go away, I'll be on the plane tonight, and I'll be like, what a lovely bunch of people. Yeah.
Or weirdos. Yeah.
Right on.
He's going to have to get an extra seat for your balloon self.
Yeah, my alter ego.
Which is amazing. And the Master, you're not just, some person in Doctor Who, you're a freaking icon.
Yeah.
The Master.
Well,
my God.
When the call came about, would I be interested in playing it, which was amazing, my agent was like, look, they want to consider you to play the Master. And I went, who? Yeah, exactly. And then straight on Wikipedia, bum, 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 and I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, and then I was like, oh, wow, this is...
The stakes were kind of higher.
Yeah,
a little higher.
But then they were also saying, look, you're not coming in as the Master, you're coming in as O. We don't want people to know. So it was, I couldn't really tell anyone about it either. I had to keep it sworn to secrecy.
Oh my gosh. Were you a fan before?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'd grown up watching it. And again, I think I was saying yesterday.
You're British, it's kind of the law.
Yeah, you have to. And then the fact that you're watching it, it's to then be part of it. It's that exciting thing of watching it as a kid, and then suddenly it's like a hand grabs you and takes you into the world. And I remember standing in the TARDIS or stepping into the police box, and I could see the crew going, "Oh, it's another one," because you're just like, "Wow, oh my God, you're grabbing everything, and you got the Sonic doing all that, you know." And then you break it, and they gang, you know.
They probably went through a lot of broken things during the Matt Smith era, from what I understand.
Well, that's the thing. We had a slightly lower budget, so everything breaks. So they're like, "Here's the tissue compression." Oh, you know, it's
oh dear.
Yeah. They used to have a go at me because I was always so with it. And they're like, "Oh, you're just gonna break it. You can break it, you know."
It's part of the character. You're intense. You have to be. Yeah. I got to tell you, and this is going to sound like I'm sucking up, but I was thinking about it, and I really, honest to God, think that yours is my favorite master.
Oh,
I really do.
Thank you.
And
I did pay her to say that.
No, and it's because out of all of them, you made him so, for want of a better word, human.
Oh, thank you.
You know, like you see this broken person, and that's where the motivation comes from. That's why he does. You know, it's not just, oh, I'm twirling a mustache, oh, I'm the adversary, oh, I'm, you know, and oh, I'm just kooky, or, you know, he's just broken and damaged and very, very human.
Yeah.
And that's why he does the things he does. I mean, was this part of...
Yeah, I think so. I think I just heard someone say, "Yeah, and creepy." I'm sure. Maybe it's just me. I'm still hearing voices. But I think, you know, I grew up watching it, but then it fizzled out and I didn't really continue watching it, which is, in a way, it was good, because I think I would have been so nervous and maybe knew too much about it. But I think that's the thing that I really wanted to get across, which is what I think my storyline was predominantly about, was my relationship with the Doctor and understanding that and what happened in Gallifrey. And you've got these huge, big ideas in the script, but really it's a human story. I think that's why people connect to it. And I wanted to, even though he's completely angry and chaotic, there is a lot of emotion under there. You know, he felt that there's a real rivalry with the Doctor. Yeah. But also there's a lot of love there as well. They can live with each other and they can't live without each other. And kind of working with Jodie with all of that was, I kind of never thought it would be what it was. It was really beautiful and effortless, and she's a complete joy to work with. Because, you know, in scenes, they allow me to kind of be, you know, the Master works when he's slightly unpredictable, and I like to lean into that, so you never quite know what I'm going to do in certain takes, and she just goes with it. And you know, you kind of literally... You'll throw not literally throw something, but in the scene you'll give, and she takes it and she gives it back. It's great, and that's what makes it great to watch.
Yeah, the chemistry you had was with her was gorgeous. But you're right. I think it's very, very easy to take a character like the Master and just, you know, default to mwahahaha, and I
mean, there were a few moments of that.
Well, sure, but if that's your only level, then that gets boring. Yeah. And you gave him levels, and you made him a person, and it was gorgeous to watch.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely gorgeous.
I think it was a great opportunity. As an actor, the Master has allowed me to play so many different people. Yeah. I even think now, if I was to ever go back, I always think, have you guys seen my full incarnation yet? Have you seen the Master? Because that's the thing, he's the master of disguise. He's always hiding behind different people. And as an actor, that was a real joy to play. You know, I got to play O, I got to play, you know, the Joe Commander, yeah. What's the word? Volcano, what's it? No, geologist, but it's a
volcanologist.
Thank you. I can't speak. Thanks. Yeah. So just the Victoria. So many different people.
Yeah.
And that just gave me so much range. But if I was to ever come back again, I love being creative, and I think, God, I'd love for the Master maybe in the next season, if I was to ever come back, to just. Someone knocks on a door on the street, and it's me in a business suit with a family, you know, and I'm like, hey, and like, whoa, that's the Master, is it, you know? What's happening, you know, just keeps surprise, it allows me to constantly keep the audience guessing. And
then, of course, there's a musical number, because the Master always has to have one, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like, I only realized recently that when I was looking back on the script, I was like, that wasn't even written in the script. And in my head, I was convinced, because it said, Boney M plays, and I thought, oh yeah, I'm sure I read Rasputin just dances. So in the scene, and we were like wrapping up for the day, and they put the music on, and I thought, boom, 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 and and I was wondering why the crew were looking at me like, they all wanted to go home, and this guy's just dancing around, and luckily it made the edit. So
your hips don't lie.
Hips don't lie. But the next day, I was like, oh, It's like when you're drunk at a party and you feel so amazing, and the next day you're like, what was I doing?
Oh no.
When I went down and went like this?
I was
never done that before, ever. Never done it.
I was going to ask if you had any, special effecty, harnessy help with that, or if that was just you. And
no,
really
that was. Jeez.
Dang, brother.
Yeah.
Impressive.
But the next day I went down, didn't get back up.
From my garbage knee to yours, sympathy, man.
Oh my God.
Ooh, ouch. All right, I could sit here and keep doing this for a year, but y'all must have questions. I wish to share. So yeah, Kier, talk to me.
Was it a conscious decision to work in the childish petulance?
Was it what, sorry?
Was it
go. Was it a conscious effort to work the childish petulance?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I think I'm channeling some dark trauma there.
Oh, dear.
Because it's kind of worrying how easy it is to access, I think that's what's great. I mean, I kind of felt like my time playing the Master was like therapy for me, It's like so many, you come out and sometimes I don't plan, and suddenly there's just so much rage, and they're like, okay, we need to keep away from him today.
Did you get calls from, family members going, do you have something you wanted to tell me?
Well, my dad was sat down with me and he said, son, are you okay?
Oh, no.
I said, I'm fine. He's like, you don't seem it.
No, Dad, that's how it was written, I swear. It wasn't me.
He says, you're batshit crazy.
I mean, I guess that means you did good.
I was like, thanks, Dad. Yeah.
You were selling it that well, and Dad bought it. That means you did good.
Yeah, he did.
Who else? Yes.
How was it awkward filming the scene where you have Jodie get on her knees and keep saying master?
Well.
They rehearsed it a lot.
You know what? Okay. Well, it was strange, because I think Jodie at the time rightly said, to kind of kneel down in front of the Master was quite intense, actually, to do something like that. I think she was, would the Doctor do that? But actually she's doing it for the sake of, otherwise people are going to die. But when we were filming that scene, all the extras weren't allowed to know that I was the Master, because I'm saying kneel down and say Master. So they had to give me a code name while we did the rehearsals. And then when we shot it, everyone left the room so we could do the scene. But in the rehearsals, or when we're doing what we call the Master, so not the Master shot, God, we had to have a code name, and I think
General Zod?
I think it was like, I can't remember, I'm making it up. I was thinking of the word Alan, but it wasn't. Which you mean like, get down on your knees and call me Alan. Say my name, Alan. Say it, Alan.
Heisenberg.
Yeah, it's like, I'm trying to remember. If it comes back to me, I'll let you know, but yeah.
I'm comfortable with Alan for the rest of my life now.
Yeah, Alan.
That's excellent. I saw you in the hat first.
Maybe, not a big comment, maybe related to that childish side. I've always thought that the Master is on some level kind of the ultimate Doctor Who fan.
Is the ultimate Doctor Who fan?
Yeah, he keeps track of everything she does. He has these elaborate theories about her backstory that he tells everyone about. The character has cosplayed.
Yeah. I think you're spot on. I think he is. And I was saying it before, he can't quite live without the Doctor. And I think there is, this is my take on it, and there's love there as well, And so, he's obsessed, and without the Doctor, he isn't anybody really. He needs that motivation. So it's It's kind of true. Say again?
Kind of a stalker.
Yeah. Sheesh, yeah. I'm slightly worried about him now.
Well, I mean, they both have that codependency.
Yeah, they do.
That was always there.
Yeah,
with
they
Ten
do.
and John Sims Master, that was always a thing.
Yeah.
Like, we're the last, we need each other.
But for me, yeah, I think the thing that I like tapping into was the fact what the Doctor can't do is the Master is willing to end it even if it puts him on the line as well. And that's what I enjoyed playing, because he wasn't afraid of kind of the dangerous side, and if he's got to kind of blow everyone out in a room, including himself, he'll do it.
Yeah.
And that, I loved tapping into that. It made it quite scary. So yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you had a...
Being the master, following the mistress, did Missy have any influence? Did you even have any knowledge of what Missy had done prior to you?
No, I didn't actually. I didn't want to get too kind of bogged down with previous incarnations, as amazing as they were, because I've got a habit of just mimicking people, so I would have kind of just done the same thing. But in saying that, I did, because a lot of people ask online, Missy, Master, which came first, and Missy or Master, all these things. And I'm quite in awe of Michelle Gomez. And about a couple of months ago, I was doing a con in New Zealand, and they said, you're going to be doing some interview for the press. And I was sitting there, and Michelle Gomez walks in. And that's the first time the Master has met Missy. And, in my head, I thought I'd be a little bit like, hey, Missy. But really, I was like, hi.
I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
I was completely starstruck. I was like, I'm your Master. Tell me. And she is amazing. And I think, genuinely, I was like, we were both saying, we would love to do something together, because I think it would be, I think the next series of Doctor Who, you know what I mean? I want to see what that will be like, so... Yeah.
I mean, John Sims his Master got to do a thing with Missy, so
Yeah.
it's conceivable.
Oh, I'm excited, yeah. I mean, I'd love to see, with Doctor Who, to see all, the Masters come together.
Like the musical Assassins.
Yeah.
Only it's Masters.
Yeah, I'd love
Everybody's got the right to their dreams, only it's Masters.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, wait, while we're here, do you have a favorite musical?
Do I have a favorite? It's probably Sweeney Todd.
They all say Sweeney Todd. Did you notice that? Mine
they?
too. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Paul McGann said the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, mine too, actually.
What about Little Shop of Horrors?
I love that one too. Yes.
Yeah. I used to be quite scared of that, actually.
Really?
Yeah. The plant thing,
Moving on. Somebody else? Questions? Somebody over there. Yeah.
You mentioned last night's panel that you didn't remember the poem. Is there any chance you'll ever get that poem and post it online so I can hear that?
You don't want to see it. You want to hear it, Oh my God, no. It's too... I need to try and find it somewhere. But maybe I'm going to put a little collection out and I'll send it to your address.
Oh dear. Oh dear. We said the thing about being a stalker.
Yeah. Then we'll call each other and read poems.
Oh, that's lovely. Who else? Come on. You're all very shy. Come on. Yes.
A quick callback to yesterday. You were saying Dirty Dancing was one of your first things to get you interested in acting.
Yeah.
That was my first concert.
Really? Really, yeah. People saying what kind of got me into acting, and unfortunately it was Grease and Dirty Dancing,
Oh
because
my
I used to mimic the dance moves. And with Dirty Dancing, it was actually my older sister that would pick me up like this, because I was the smallest. I was like that.
Oh my God. Nobody puts baby in a corner.
She definitely put me in a corner.
Oh.
She actually dropped me one day, and I go to hospital. I had a really bad concussion.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Because we were dancing in the living room. Yeah.
You had a Dirty Dancing related injury.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It was worth it though. It got me here today.
Okay, well, so there you go. So maybe it's, a concussion, that half the talent is concussion related.
I think I'm still concussed right now.
Oh God. Okay, who's
Something
leading?
spooky's happening. Did you
Seriously,
like it?
who's leading on the light switch or something? Or do we have a poltergeist?
Turn them down.
It's either somebody leaning on the light switch or we're having a dramatic thing going on.
Yeah.
Careful. Okay, yes, over there.
Trying to jump in.
Nobody puts baby in the corner. Look out. Okay. Yes, over there.
Doctor, when I got the autograph line with you, you mentioned a little bit about your having to review the original script for Hussein had in your prep work for an adventure space and time. Do you have any other stories you can tell about the prep work for that?
Oh, for an adventure in space and time.
In the making of it?
Yeah. It was amazing because obviously it was for the 50th anniversary, but it was the last show to film in the BBC as well. And we actually used the 4th floor of the BBC, which was where the production offices were for the original Doctor Who, and they'd converted them into the 60s. It looked absolutely incredible. It was such an amazing experience. I think one of the highlights for me, and I'm not sure if people know this, but we're in the TARDIS, and we were on a break, and Mark Gatiss was there, and I said, "Why is Peter Capaldi here?" And he said, "Oh, he's just a really big fan of an adventure in space. Well, of what we're doing, and he just wants to come on set. He's like a huge fan." And I was like, "Wow, he's such an amazing actor." And I was keeping an eye on him, like, "Oh, hi," you know. Then I was like, "Mark, why is he taking notes?" And it was at the time where Mark was the one that said, "He's going to be the next Doctor." And I was like, "Oh, wow." So all these amazing kind of things that happened. And I think one of my personal fondest memories was, this was after shooting, they invited me to Abbey Road to see them put the score to it. And what's kind of amazing about when they put the score to the film is they're playing the film, and you have a huge orchestra. And then the director of the music is sitting in the studio, and so I'm sitting there and I'm watching the scene where it's William Hartnell and Matt Smith at the end. So beautiful, and the orchestra, the music just goes up, and you're like, oh, wow, it's breathtaking. And the director of music went, "Okay, great." He just stopped the orchestra. It was amazing. And this is the note he gave to them. An orchestra of 200 people. He went, "It needs more heart." And I mean, I don't know how an orchestra of 200 people processed that, but they then went for another take to that scene. And boy, it lifted it, and it was, I'm crying watching it. It was one of the most, I never thought, Abbey Road, the 50th anniversary, this orchestra, that was a real fond memory of mine, yeah.
One of those moments where you look at your life and you go, this is happening, oh my God.
Yeah, you pinch yourself. And actually, Mark Gatiss is really good at he'll kind of say, "Remember this." Because actually you're working with people, Russell T. Davies, Stephen Moffat, Mark Gatiss. These people are avid fans. They're not just they know the world. So to see them so excited, and they're coming into the top, oh wow, they're like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. This is exactly how it looked. It's really special." Yeah.
I think that's probably part of what keeps the show going since 1963, is that the people who make it are, also the leading members of the fandom.
Yeah, exactly. And working with Warris on Adventure in Space and Time, he had this demeanor which was like a director. It needs to be like this, and your character should be like this, and showing me all the scripts and stuff. And then I remember doing our first scene, and it was me and Verity Lambert, and we're at the BBC, and we're chatting about Doctor Who. And Mark Gatiss came up to me and he said, "Oh, Warris is by the monitors." I said, "Yeah," and he said, "He's crying." I was like, "Oh," because you forget that it was such a huge part of his life, not just the show, but politically as well. He was like in early 20s, South Asian, gay, and at that time it was very difficult. And for him, when he said to me, when he was first handed Doctor Who, he was like, "I shouldn't be directing children's television, rubbish." He didn't realize it would be the thing that completely changed his life.
Yes.
You played a great director. Do you have any ambitions to direct?
I think I'm slightly intimidated by it. As an actor, I get to just focus on my part, but as a director, you've got to think about so many things. So even if literally the set's burning down, you've got to be on set and be like, hey everybody, it's going to be okay. And I can't do that. I'll be like, there's a fire, get out! What are you going to do? Help, you know.
I hear that.
But I don't know, maybe something I'd like to do.
Eventually, I think that people just like, I want the control.
Yeah.
I want all the control, and that's why I think actors want to move into directing.
They do. I think that, maybe directing, but I'd certainly love to create more stories, so be in the writer's room. I love generating new storytelling. So, you know, as an actor, like with Doctor Who, you kind of come in at a stage where it's already been laid out and the script's been written, but to be part of that process that originates the script is something I'd love to do. And say, oh, yeah, we were part of that. Like, that's how story starts. It starts with a small idea, and then it can become something really special. From the shows that you watch on TV today, all start with a small seed of an idea, and to be part of that would be really special to me.
What's like one of your favorite shows that are to watch? Like,
God, there's so many, but I love Succession is a big show. Mind the Bear is just great. You know, when you see great characters, just stuff that's kind of original. You know, I love genre. I think that's the thing I love to do. That's why I love doing Doctor Who. Because you touched on it. You know. Characters that are in large, crazy worlds, but their stories are really human, is what appeals to me, you know.
Ultimately, I think that's what makes for a good show, regardless of what it is. It comes down to the people, and it comes down to the stories about the people. So it's not about the monsters or the running or the spaceships or the special effects or the whatever. Yeah. It's about the people who are in the place and doing the things. Yeah. And if that's not good, it doesn't matter how many quips you have or sets you have or whatever's you have. If it's not the people, then if we don't care about the people,
that's exactly it.
It doesn't work.
I wanted to ask a question. You know, obviously I'm in Doctor Who, but I always wonder, like, what is it that about Doctor Who that translates so much, that makes it so appealing? I wonder what you guys think about. Like, what's your answer to that? Like, why? You know, we've got these amazing events and it translates. What is it about the show that does that?
Over there.
That's great, though. It's a great answer, yeah.
Yeah, follow that up, Stu.
Yeah, I think it's just the basic mission of go out, do good, be kind, and don't carry a gun.
And don't carry a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true, because the Doctor never... Doctor's never killed anyone, right?
No, that's not to say people don't die.
Yeah.
The Doctor can be really bitchy when he feels like it. I mean, there have been times when he has wreaked vengeance, but it's not usually that way.
I think that's what really frustrates the Master.
You know, trap somebody in a painting for 1,000,000 years or forever, or in a, yes, Carrie.
I think Craig Ferguson actually said it best when he said Doctor Who was intellect and romance over brute force and cynicism. Oh. And that is why it endures 60 years on.
What was the first thing you said?
Intellect and romance versus brute force and cynicism.
Oh, yeah, way to go, Craig. Yeah. Someone had something back there? Yeah.
I feel like it's turning into a therapy session. Sorry. But I'm really interested. It's really fascinating.
I agree about intellect because the Doctor's a scientist and he's very, very honest. And he doesn't fool himself. The world's the way he wishes it was. He knows what it is. But also the Doctor says difference. He says it's okay. He tells us it's okay to be who you really are. You don't have to be like other people. If you're different, be different. like anybody else, and he doesn't care. And so for fans who are often nerds and maybe not part of the popular crowd, to see the Doctor have the Doctor as our hero is a very early celebration of diversity.
Wow, that's very great.
Yeah.
Damn, I wish I was a doctor for longer now.
I mean, I'll add to that because there's there's lots of different kinds of diversity. One of the things that makes me crazy is when people get ageist on each other, because I'm not 25, and I'm 27. God, and. Doctor Who, by its very nature, kind of exists in defiance of ageism. Age kind of doesn't exist because the Doctor is 1,000 whatever years old, and yet he's played by, she is played by actors of ages across the spectrum. Same thing with the Master. And then you have, companions that run that are all sorts of ages. We've got, Rose, but then we've got Dan. And exactly, and Graham and everybody else. And it's wonderful. And then, people who know me know how much I love the Sarah Jane Adventures, and that's another one. We've got Sarah Jane, who's the age that she is, and she's running around having adventures and solving things with teenagers. And nobody cares that she's from a different generation. And the episode that she and Katie did with Matt Smith, it's Baby Doctor and the two gorgeous old broads, and it's the best thing ever. Because they're, Sarah Jane and Joe are all like groovy about things, and nobody cares. If they have to explain to her, to Sarah Jane how to use an iPhone, it's fine, and nobody judges it. And it's fine. So that's one of my favorite things about Doctor Who.
It's so brilliant. It's so brilliant. When we were doing the plane scene, the great thing about Bradley Walsh is he kind of reads scripts. Sometimes he doesn't. So obviously he saw me as O, and then we came to do the rehearsal for the plane scene where the switch happens, and I swear in the rehearsal he said to Mandip, he's playing a master. That's when he hadn't read the script, he's like, bloody hell. That's when he first saw it. So it was a genuine reaction. And then we were when we were rehearsing the scene, Mandip came running up to me after, and obviously they were so brilliant about my turn and stuff. But Mandip said, "Oh, me and Bradley were laughing because you might have been nervous during the rehearsal, but you kept clenching your bum cheeks." And I don't know why and that's all they had for me, which was nice. In that scene, I supposedly they were sitting behind, and I kept clenching my bum cheeks supposedly. I think it was a tick, and it's the energy,
Okay.
Because obviously, when I did that scene, I had sent a tape to the producers about, what my take was going to be on it, and they were brilliant and gave me some thoughts. But what I ended up doing on that day was nothing that was on that tape. So I think the adrenaline just kicks in, you really...
And it goes straight to your butt, apparently.
Supposedly, yeah. I think there was more happening in my bum than there was happening on my face, so... No.
We're never going to watch this scene the same way again, y'all.
Yeah, I know.
We're all going to be like, I know what's happening behind him.
Yeah.
It's going to make it better. It's going to be amazing.
But that was probably the highlight of my time on Who, was doing that scene. It was really special, yeah.
Yeah, it looked fun.
Yeah.
And you got to work with British, I'm going to say icon, Sir Lenny Henry.
Yeah.
Who, I've had a crush on him for years. What was that like? Was that amazing?
Yeah, it was great. He's a super fan.
Yeah.
So, just seeing his excitement like a kid was great. And it's one of those things where when you work with like an icon like that, but then in the scene, you get to be really nasty to him, It was so... I kind of love doing that, you know. I did a film years ago called After Earth. It didn't do very well, but it was with Will Smith.
Okay.
And I was doing a scene in a cockpit. I was flying the spaceship, and Will Smith was like sitting there, you know, he straps himself in and he's like, hey, where are we flying to? I'm like, I've got this. And what they did, so I'm digressing, but the spaceship was on hydraulics. And so we were warned that the hydraulics were going to be pretty intense because the spaceship's going to crash. And it was so funny, we did the take, and Will Smith went, don't worry, I did this in Independence Day. And I was like, okay, cool. And then we did the take. But they must have turned the hydraulics really high. I'm supposed to be the captain of the spaceship. And I was like, and I looked over to Will Smith, and he was just like this. And he looked at me, and he's like, Independence Day. I was like, wow. And that is a memory. I was like, that's insane.
You're like, yeah, right, you planned ahead and took Dramamine, my dude.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, damn.
Independence Day, my ass, you took Dramamine. Oh my God. Who else has some questions or comments? Yes, back there.
When you did the reveal scene in Spy Falls 2, at what point in the filming sequence did you do that? Was it like late or early, or because they film stuff out of order?
Yeah, so they actually had to build that plane, or actually get it into the sound stage. It was actually a plane, like part of it. So getting that fitted and all rigged up meant that it was the end of the episode, which was good for me because it meant that I just had to film all the O stuff first. And I knew that the reveal would work if I almost separated the two characters. So I think I mentioned it yesterday. I split my script in half. So I had all the O scenes and then the master scenes. So I didn't even look at any of the master stuff. So I kind of went in thinking, okay, I'm just playing this nerdy science guy, and then I'll worry about it later. So yeah, the plane scene was the last part of that stuff. So yeah, so it meant that was a genuine reaction from everyone seeing the reveal. Yeah, it was really nerve-wracking because you know, as everyone mentioned, so many amazing people have played it, and you never know how people are going to react to it. And I was happy because one of the first ADs, he said to me, he went, "Oh, my kid's going to like you," and I was like, "Oh, thank God." You know.
And then you got to regenerate and turn into the Doctor, sort of. Yeah,
that was an amazing thing because to come back in, I knew I was going to come back, and Chris did say to me, he said, "Do you want to know what's going to happen? And you're going to be the Doctor." And I went, "I'm going to be the Doctor." And he went, "Yeah, but not for long." Damn.
Psych.
Yeah, but that is still. But you know what? Being the Doctor, even for that short amount of time, it's too much pressure. I couldn't I remember, I was the Doctor, and I kind of run to the TARDIS and started pressing all the buttons, and Mandip went, no. You see, Jodie, that's how you control it, and this is how you fly it. You can't just come in and start pressing buttons, you know. And I thought, okay, she goes, no, you do this, and then you do that, and then I was like, okay, I don't want to be the Doctor, thanks, you know. It felt really odd, actually. I was quite happy just being the Master. So I was happy to just give it back.
But it's even when you were the Doctor, it seemed like a weird. I don't know. I don't want to use the word tainted, but it seemed like it. I don't know. Some of the Master carried through, like you were still feeling that. Like if you had stayed the Doctor, I don't know. The best analogy I can think of is it was a glass that hadn't been rinsed out.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
And so, whatever was in the glass before was still there, and making the stuff that was in there affect the taste of what was in there now.
Well, it's also that thing of be careful what you wish for, because when he actually became the Doctor, the thing that and we were touching on it before, the thing that he chases, that gives him purpose, is no longer there.
Yeah.
And suddenly there's this really deep sadness. And it actually doesn't feel that comfortable, and everything starts going slightly wrong. I don't think he he enjoyed it either.
The dog who finally caught its tail and doesn't know what to do with itself.
Yeah, and actually he's not, straight away knowing that, expected now that he's a doctor, that the companions are going to be like, hey, and actually it's like, no, I don't like you. And that, he couldn't take that,
But why? Why don't you automatically love me?
Yeah, exactly.
Love me!
Yeah. And I think, hopefully, I don't know, one of the things I want to explore is when he became the Doctor, he became almost slightly childlike.
Yeah.
And I think that is where you saw who the real master was. He's like a little boy, really. He's still, that petulant child. That's kind of who he is, really.
No, he was very much, no, but why don't you love me? You must love me now. I am the Doctor, you must love me. That's what people do with the Doctor. They love me, so why aren't you loving me?
Yeah.
It was cool.
And then he didn't get that.
And then like the resentment of that just built and built and built.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, I can't wear this suit anymore. This suit doesn't fit me.
No, exactly. And I did actually feel sorry for my friends and family, because they're like, "Are you playing that recorder again? Stop playing that! Stop!" We got sick of it,
Your neighbor's gonna send out a thing, being like, "Okay, look."
But on the day, because I'd practiced so much, and on the day when I came to shoot that, I was like, I can't wait, because I've been practicing. But when you're nervous, it came out like this. And they're like, yeah, we'll fix it in post.
No, I swear to God, I practiced. This sounded good yesterday in my apartment.
Yeah.
It really was better yesterday.
Like you're playing it upside down for a start.
Yes, you had something.
You talked about the petulance and the need to be near the Doctor, or to have the Doctor as a foil for the Master. But another piece of the Master is his treachery, his thoughtfulness, making the plans that he does. He makes elaborate plans. The long game. Yeah, the long game with O, and that combination of the childish, I need it now, versus the long game and the deviousness there. It's two parts of this character that make it almost, I think, would be difficult to kind of put them together for you.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how did you feel about that aspect of the character?
You're spot on, actually. Because in the craziness, that's the thing. Some people say, oh, he's crazy. He's too big. He's too. But I think for me, one of the things that I really wanted to tune into was within the craziness that there's always a plan. There's an intention. He's always a couple of steps ahead, because let's not forget he's really intelligent. Yeah. So I think one of the things that I explored and really enjoyed was organized chaos. He loved it. And actually, I think what made him slightly dangerous is he would plan to a T, but never quite know what the end result was going to be, because that's what made it dangerous. So in the plane scene, he's like, okay, I've organized all of this, there's a bomb there, but what's going to happen, And that kind of fine line was really interesting to play. But I never wanted to feel like he was just kind of coming in, being like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. He's putting on the front that it's all a mess and what's going to happen. But there's definitely a plan. There's a master plan behind it, and I think that's something will if I was to ever come back, would always continue. But then also, I think one of the things that me and Chris talked about is because of the fact that he never really likes sitting with himself, is he likes being other people. So I never wanted to just be like the master that just does a reveal and takes a mask off. He actually becomes that person. Me and Chris were, so, he would have studied O at one point and then took him over, kind of thing. So all those different characters that I played, I genuinely did kind of research about how they would behave. They'd always have a trace of the master, but like the Nazi, the Victorian. There's always kind of embodying those people. It's probably because he's obviously hiding from something, doesn't like himself. So yeah, all those layers is kind of what I was delving into. So there was specificity. It wasn't just like, oh, I'll just see what happens on the day.
The Master is more complicated than a Scooby-Doo ending.
Yeah, exactly. Because you were touching on that as well. Yeah. It's why there was so much emotion there underneath it, because it mattered to him. He's been harboring all of this for years. So.
It's not just, it's old man Withers who runs the haunted amusement park.
Yeah.
And I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you stinking kids.
Exactly. And I really wanted to because I remember when I watched Doctor Who as a kid, it was really scary, and I wanted to lean into that. I wanted the Master to be slightly unhinged and terrifying, and if I was to ever come back again, I'd want to take that further. I want him to be slightly terrifying and unpredictable. You'd be like, oh, because I got a sense of that when I was doing scenes of feeling. I want people to feel slightly, in danger. I think it's exciting. It's exciting for people to watch, I think.
There are some terribly dark moments, too. I mean, you getting taken away by the Nazis was like, oh, that just happened.
Yeah,
Yikes. Yikes on bikes.
Yeah.
That just happened.
But also, like, in The Power of Doctor and putting the Doctor in inside the Dalek and all of that, it was so... And then suddenly dancing. It's kind of brilliant, but odd and strange. But I think the Master, he relishes in all of that, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, just, was it creepy at all putting on the Nazi uniform?
It was odd, actually, because I was like, damn, this looks good. No. Because, you know, it is odd, because it was designed by Hugo Boss. Do you know Hugo Boss?
Yes.
They actually designed the... So it was strange.
That's complicated, isn't it?
It's very complicated.
That's conflicting.
Yeah.
It's Hugo Boss, but ooh.
Yeah, it's like, ooh.
Yikes.
One more observation. I think you probably discovered at this point that Doctor Who fandom is forever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You'll never escape us, ever.
So you realize that for the rest of your life at parties, you'll be asked to do that dance.
I know. I get it asked a lot. And people who are in clubs or something and the song comes on, they send me a video, and I'm like...
Start building up those quads, babe.
Oh, no. I've got to get my knees stronger again, and I'll be, you know...
Yes, over there.
I guess, what was your experience, and did it add like a certain weight being like the Master as the first non-white Master, and now we're having the first non-white Doctor?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what when I first went into Doctor Who, maybe what I didn't appreciate, you know, it's Doctor Who, it's on our screens, but actually, someone was touching on this before about representation, inclusivity, and it's been that one job that's allowed me to show range as a British South Asian actor, because, you know, sometimes actors of colour are kind of thought about second, and we're not the interesting piece to the story. So to be given an opportunity like this and to play such a varied amount of characters, I certainly went in going, I'm going to show people what I can do because I've been waiting for this. When am I ever going to be dressed as a Nazi or a Victorian time? When am I going to be all these things? So I certainly had a word with myself before I started filming to go, take it by the hand and show people that we can do more than just playing things on one note. And I constantly strive to do that in all my work, and I always strive to play different characters, and hopefully I'll continue to do that.
Amen. A freaking man. Amen. Nailed it. I saw one back there. Did someone have something back there in the... Yes, talk to me.
That's so true. Yes, exactly that.
It's like you have a plan on you, and the Doctor's like, we're working.
Yeah, okay. But that's the intelligence and being put under pressure is something I think the Master and the Doctor, they kind of get off on it slightly, you know?
It's a thing in progress. Respect the thing.
Yeah.
It's working.
Yeah.
Yes.
The costumes that the Master had were incredible and varied. Did you have any input on that, and did that give you any insight into the character?
It did. One of the highlights about incarnating either the Master or the Doctor or those iconic characters is that they're casting you because they also want to know what your input is and like, how do you want him to dress? And you're like, really? Yeah. You're like, yeah. What are you thinking? And I think being like a younger actor, I wanted to make him like pretty cool, and I sent some pictures to Ray Holman, our costume designer, there's a band in the UK called the Arctic Monkeys, and the lead singer, I think his name's Alex, I can't remember his full name, but I really love the way that his attitude, his kind of rebellious, the kind of rock star. And so that idea, I sent some pictures of him, and you know, like steampunk, that kind of, that I sent loads of pictures of that kind of stuff, the punk era, and then Ray magically came up with ideas. Like initially, the first kind of trying stuff on, I won't lie, I was a bit like, what is, I just wasn't sure this is the right fit. And I thought, oh no, maybe this isn't, because if the costume isn't right, it doesn't feel right. And then suddenly he came back, he saw it in a shop window, you know the purple jacket? He brought that, there you go, that jacket, he saw that in a shop. And they only had one left, and it fit me, and that, just we built the whole, that is exactly what just completed it. And then the rest of the outfit, and he infused all the things that I wanted, so I was really happy with that. I think I was a bit sad for The Power of the Doctor. We never saw it, but I kind of like the idea of I think I said this before. Whenever I come back, and if I was to come back again, I always want to constantly surprise the audience. I don't want people to go, oh yeah, he's going to come back like that with his long hair, beard, that costume. Even with The Power of Doctor, I thought, okay, I want a clean shaven, make him clean, curly hair, you know, just constantly keep investigating his master of disguise. So yeah, hopefully if I was to come back, I'd try and invent something else. But that, I've actually got that, when I finished, they gave me that outfit to keep. Yeah.
Yay.
But when they did, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm clearly not coming back again. Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, now I just keep it on, and I put it on in my bedroom at night.
He dances around in it when he needs to feel important, when he works out his knees.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've also got the Rasputin one as well. No, I haven't really. That I gave back. They want to keep it on. No, thank you.
Kill it with fire. No. Burn it, bury it, salt the earth. Yeah. And Edwin, did you have something?
You answered my question. I was going to say, did you get to sneak that gorgeous coat off the set?
Yeah, I did. I got to keep everything. There's a pocket watch as well. But I'm amazed at, like, when I see the cosplay, the people's attention to detail that they've got, because it was apart from the jacket, Ray got the rest of it kind of handmade. You know, the check trousers and jacket and the buttons as well. He got the collar. You know, I think with the master, I really wanted like these. You see it in the Victorian outfit, the kind of the big lapels, and it just gives a bit. So I feel a bit sexy, you know. That happens in the street in London when they go, oh, that's the master. God, you're small.
Oh, no.
That's show business.
Oh, no. We have time for one more. Make it a good one. Who's got something good? Yes.
I'm a super nerdy cosplay.
Yeah.
Yes, bring it.
You are the Dr. Master. Whose pants are you wearing? Like, is it a specific doctor, or was it just a...
Oh, God, I saw, because pants in, like,
Trousers.
Hey, I got a nerdy question. What underpants you wear, boy?
You mean trousers. Trousers? Trousers. She wasn't getting that up close and personal.
I was like, he goes commando, baby.
Were they frilly and lacy, and did they say David Tennant on them?
They did. Do you know what, actually? So really quickly, I'll answer that. But when we were trying on the original costume for the Master, we actually tried on, actually it was for the Power of the Doctor, sorry. We wanted to mix it up a bit, and we weren't sure what direction we were going to go in. And Ray brought in a corset. He said, "Why don't you try it?" Like he just comes in with like his pattern, and then what he wears because he thought maybe the master is someone that's so self-conscious about how they look that underneath the costume he's been wearing a corset this whole time. I thought, oh my god, that would be like.
You say,
insane.
I'm just imagining the master coming up. How'd you do? I see him.
I remember. There's a photo somewhere. I remember putting it on, and then Ray was like, "We've just got to tighten it." I was like, "Take it off." So this was a mesh of, I think we decided that the master was kind of doing a slight, like FU to all the other doctors, and just getting loads of parts of them and wearing them the way he wanted to wear them. So Ray was like, "Hey, these are like David Tennant bits. These are how would the master wear them?" And I was just putting them on like, I rip this off and take this, and then that's kind of how it came about. You know, that this is the master's way of wearing parts of the Doctor's.
And you had River Song's knickers on underneath, right?
I did, yeah, I did. I kept that. I definitely kept them.
No one could blame you at all.
Yeah.
My goodness, please give this man the biggest round of applause ever.
Hey guys, this is your old pal John Swayze. You are watching Fandom Spotlight. Keep up the good work and always follow your fandom.